Something serious is unfolding behind the scenes of Beverly Hills, and it's not just reality TV drama. A family tied to one of the biggest names on Real Housewives is now locked in a bitter court battle, involving hundreds of thousands of dollars, accusations of manipulation, and a relationship that's raising a lot of uncomfortable questions. And the most shocking part? Both sides are telling completely different versions of the truth. Mauricio Umansky has built an image that screams success, luxury, homes, high-profile deals, and a life that looks picture-perfect on camera. For years, he's been known as the calm, business-savvy figure in a world full of chaos, but behind that polished image, things may not have been as stable as they seemed, because now, his own family is caught in a situation that's anything but glamorous, and no one saw it coming. It all started with a lawsuit that quickly turned heads. Mauricio's sister, Sharon, stepped forward with serious accusations against a woman named Simin Tabibnia, someone who had been closely connected to their father, Eduardo. For years, according to the claims, Eduardo had been experiencing cognitive decline since around 2021. And during that time, things allegedly took a troubling turn. The lawsuit claims that Simin spent over $400,000 of Eduardo's money, not on shared expenses, but on personal items, including luxury purchases, and even a cosmetic procedure. The accusation? That she took advantage of someone who may not have been fully aware of what was happening. It painted a picture that felt less like a relationship, and more like exploitation. But just when it seemed like the story was clear, everything flipped, because Simin didn't stay silent. She came back with a response that completely shut down every single accusation. According to her, nothing about this situation was hidden, forced, or manipulated. Instead, she described an 18-year romantic relationship, a long-term connection built on trust, intimacy, and shared history. And when it came to the money, she claims it was all given willingly and not taken, not pressured, not concealed. She says Eduardo himself wrote the checks and gave them to her as gifts. In her version of events, there was no wrongdoing at all, just a relationship that others are now trying to reframe. And suddenly, what looked like a clear-cut case became something much more complicated, because now, the real question isn't just about money. It's about control. Was Eduardo truly in a state where he could make his own decisions, or was he being influenced in ways that aren't easy to prove? There's been a lot of quiet speculation around this. Some believe the family is trying to protect him and recover what they see as lost assets. Others think this could be a case of a relationship being misunderstood, or even unfairly targeted after the fact. And the truth, it's not as obvious as it seems, because relationships, especially long ones, don't always fit into simple categories. But just when you think you understand the situation, another twist makes things even more intense. At one point, things escalated beyond money and into something more serious. Eduardo reportedly filed a restraining order against Simin. That alone raised eyebrows, but what happened next made things even more confusing. Simin attempted to get her own restraining order as well, and it was denied. Now, this detail adds an entirely new layer to the story, because it suggests there were deeper conflicts happening behind closed doors, ones that the public is only now starting to hear about. And it raises a difficult question: what was really going on between them? As this situation becomes more public, people are starting to look at the Umansky family differently. Fans who are used to seeing polished moments on screen are now seeing something much more raw and much more real, because this isn't just about legal documents. It's about trust. It's about family. And it's about what happens when those things collide with money. There's also growing curiosity about how this could impact relationships within the family itself, because when accusations like this surface, things rarely stay the same. And even though Mauricio himself hasn't been at the center of the claims, his name being tied to the situation is enough to pull him into the spotlight. And here's the reality: this case is far from over. There's still no final answer, no clear winner, and no simple explanation. What started as a lawsuit has now turned into a complex story about loyalty, perception, and the blurry line between love and influence, because in situations like this, the truth isn't always obvious, and sometimes, it depends on who you choose to believe.